Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, I want to talk about why you really want to get back with a narcissist. Why you really want to get back with a narcissist. Let's talk about some of the reasons why we would want to get back with a narcissist. And it's not what you think, because some of these reasons are going to require you to dive into your subconscious level of thinking rather than your consciousness, because we might consciously think something, but really it's something subconscious going on. All right. So in this video, we're not going to talk about the obvious reasons that all of us survivors typically know. And if you're new to the channel, I'll just spit those out and you can watch my videos pertaining to that. And those are trauma bonding and enmeshment. Let's talk about some additional reasons that have to do with the subconscious, because those are subconscious things as well. You're deeply connected to the narcissist in a toxic manner in those circumstances. Whew, I need some water. But either way, what are some of the other subconscious reasons? A lot of times we think we want to go back to this narcissist because we think it's going to be better. But oftentimes, the real reason why we want to go back to the narcissist is to try to have some sort of closure. The narcissist typically leaves without apologizing, and you're not able to have that in-depth conversation that you may be able to have in healthier relationships where two parties just mutually agree this isn't working out and this is why, but I wish you well on your journey in life type of thing. We want closure, so we'll go back to the narcissist seeking closure. Okay, or what we can look at that as trying to reconcile, which is also what we're doing a lot of times, getting into the narcissist relationship in the beginning, because we probably had a narcissistic parent or a caretaker in our life. So then in our adulthood, we're in these narcissistic relationships to try to reconcile the relationship that we didn't reconcile from our childhood. So this is our subconscious working here yet again. Okay, another reason why we want to go back to the narcissist when we think we're missing them and yada, 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 and that's not the case. A lot of times we can feel that we've been taken advantage of. We can feel how much that we've given. And in that instance, we feel like we've invested so much in the narcissist to just walk away. It's not even about us really caring about them. It's just pure, sheer investment. When you've gone above and beyond and you've given more than you have received, for sure, and you find yourself wanting to go back to the narcissist at that point. And, this is what I tell people when I'm giving dating advice to them about trying to, get someone to be attached to them. Have that person start investing in you. It's a lot harder for a man to walk away from someone they've invested much into. Okay? Start getting them to make investments in you. And these investments can be emotional, of course, financial, time investments. This creates attachments. And the more that we do this with people, the harder it is for us to let go. Okay, that's just like, if I've been paying on this house for 30 years and it's the 29th year, am I going to want to just let my mortgage go after paying all of that and being at the end of it? No. Okay. But if I just, got the house and I haven't made one mortgage payment yet and I've seen another house that I want, can I just try to back out of the deal at that point because it's early on and I haven't invested that much? I'm not going to feel much about backing out of that deal. Same thing here. You guys have invested so much in the narcissist that you're finding it hard to walk away because you put so much into there. And of course, they were just making withdrawals. All right. Another reason why we want to go back to the narcissist: low self-esteem. This is beyond the trauma bond and the enmeshment, just sheer low self-esteem. There's something inside of you that actually doesn't quite feel worthy of having what you consciously think you deserve. Subconsciously, it doesn't align. So you find yourself back in these toxic relationship, or, yearning to be back in it because that's your comfort level. Perhaps you don't feel good enough to really have a good woman or a good man. Or you have low self-esteem about things that you look at yourself negatively about in the mirror, or just mentally. Oh, I'm not this, I'm not that. I don't really belong with the cream of the crop. I don't really deserve the best treatment. And we have to really get real about if we really feel those things deep down inside of us. And that's our subconscious, because that's what's consciously playing out anyway, even though we're verbally saying, no, I deserve a good man. I don't deserve to be cheated on. But if you keep taking the cheater back, subconsciously, you must believe that you do deserve it, because you wouldn't keep accepting it. And that was just one example. All right. So what is another reason why we want the narcissist back? Because we've seen them with somebody else. Because you've seen them move on so quickly with somebody else, you want them back because you're probably still single, and psychologically we want what we can't have. And the fact that the narcissist was able to move on so quickly, now we're kind of looking inside of ourselves, wondering if we made a mistake that they were able to jump into a relationship with someone else. But obviously we have to keep in mind that they're doing the same thing that they did to you. They're presenting their false self and reeling that person in and love bombing them. Okay? They're getting the fakery and the fuckery right now. So yeah, they're getting pulled in. And the narcissist, they never attach to you anyway. So yes, they're bouncing into another relationship with a person that they were already 99.9% of the chance already interacting with anyway. They just upgraded them from the secondary to the primary, or whatever place they were in. They just upgraded them. But they always keep these people in their back pocket anyway. Okay, but now seeing them with someone else makes you start thinking that you lost something now, because someone else has gained the narcissist. But they gained the narcissist. They gained the narcissist. And you know what that comes with. Okay, let them take your leftovers. Let them take that piece of shit, unfortunately. And they're going to have a lot of lessons to learn through that relationship. But you've been there and you've done that, and you're moving on to something that's going to serve you better. Okay? So what is another reason why we want to get back with the narcissist? We've socially isolated ourselves. The narcissist probably, as an abusive, manipulative person, has gotten you to socially isolate yourself anyway. But along with that, you've done it in the healing process, as you now have all these trust issues with people. And it's like, I'm never going to trust anyone again. When we first come out of it, we real tender, we're real tender. We're very hurt by things. All right. So when you're not socially isolated, when you are socially isolated, what tends to happen? You tend to go back to the people you do know, even if they aren't good for you. So what's the fix to that? Get back reconnected with your friends and family. Start socializing again. Get out and join clubs and organizations with things that you're interested in. Get out there. And if you feel like you're ready to, you can go back out and start dating. It's just dating. There's nothing wrong with going out and having conversation and spending time with people. There's nothing wrong with that, if you feel ready to. But you can minimally get back with your friends and family and the people that care about you. All right. I'm trying to think what other reasons that we do this for. Another reason why we go back to the narcissist. Yeah, I'm just, I didn't take notes. I'm just really talking off of my head right here. Another reason. Well, we all know about the soul ties. We have soul tie with them. And you guys can go ahead and research or, YouTube some videos on soul ties that will get into that for you way in depthly than I'm going to right now. But when we've sexually attached ourselves to another person, you are connecting your souls, and that's hence the word, your souls are tying together. So even when that person is bad for you, you still have that tie to them that has to be broken. And the way that I broke my soul tie was through prayer and cleansing of my mind. Okay, and that deals with changing my perception, but lots and lots and lots of prayer. All right, and meditation, of course. All right, what else? Another reason that we go back is we feel like we have something to prove. You know, when someone says you should be married at this age, or, you know, everybody else around you is in a relationship, you don't have nothing to prove. If that relationship isn't working for you, it just isn't your time. That's another reason why we go back. And just feeding off of that reason, another reason why we don't want to be alone or feel like we're lonely. But what good is keeping bad company? What good is that going to serve you in your life? Okay? No company is better than bad company, guys. Sometimes we romanticize as well, guys. You know, we had an image in our mind of what we wanted that relationship to be. You know, we don't want that broken family, and we're trying to force what we really wanted in a situation that is not going to be able to produce it, you know. So, unfortunately, yeah, you're going to have to get that divorce. Unfortunately, yeah, it's going to be a broken home. Unfortunately, yeah, now you have to co-parent or whatever. Unfortunately, yeah, this is going to be a failed relationship. But these are actually not unfortunate, you know, because this is what we're thinking. Unfortunately, we don't want to face what's unfortunate. But if we're looking at it as what is fortunate, because this toxic person, you know, it's just what it is. They're not going to be a good husband or wife. They're not going to be a good parent. They're not going to be a good lifelong partner for you. So therefore, you have to, if you want to have something healthy and loving and self-serving, you have to get rid of them. You have to let them go. And so we have to let go of the fantasy and idealizations that we had when we embarked on the relationship. Okay, because sometimes we're stubborn and we're holding on by a thread just to say, I'm still married, I'm not a part of the statistic. But yeah, you are, because now you're being statistically abused in many other ways. That is far worse than letting go of a relationship that is not in your best interest and that's not for you. Now you're in a whole bunch of other statistics and potentially fatal. So we have to let go, guys. Sometimes we want to get back for revenge. You know, we don't like to acknowledge these sides of ourselves, but yeah, we could want to get back with someone out of revenge. You could want to get back so that you could be the one to dump it. You know, there's something inside of you, and this is a part of closure that wants to tilt the scales your way. You want to get something back from the narcissist. It's like, okay, you're getting back to try to recoup. It could be to break up with them. It could be to try to get them to do things for you so that you can feel like you got something, to try to manipulate them back. So yeah, we can get back with the narcissist out of revenge. You know, people do that, especially as we learn more and more, and we see that opportunity, they're hoovering us or we're hoovering them, and we're not getting back because we're trying to get something good per se with them going again. Like, okay, now that I have this information, I want to get back and I want to play with their mind a little bit. I want to, you know, do this and that. So that's another reason why. But honestly, this is supply for them. They're going to thrive in that. They're going to enjoy it, even if you're trying to play them, even if you're not trying to be caring and loving, even if you're just trying to use them and deceive them back. They love this. This is fuel for them. Negative fuel, but it's still fuel. And it's time and energy that you're giving to them when it could be better spent moving on to greater and greener pastures here. Okay? Energy, time, you can never get that back as far as when you're spending time with someone and giving them your energy in that moment. Okay? So we really have to weigh what's really worthy of that. All right? All right, so I'm going to stop here as far as these reasons why we're really getting back with the narcissist. And let's stop deceiving ourselves. You know, let's start deceiving ourselves and get real about it. We know they're not really going to be good, because a lot of times we go back, well, I thought it was going to be different. And did you really? Or was it one of these other reasons? All right, guys. I hope that I've given you guys a little more clarification into your own psyche, and that you can start making a better decision.